Once upon a time, there was a Native American family that had just moved into a new town. They had a daughter, Pocahontas, that was getting ready for her first day of school, but she was nervous because English was not her first language, and she knew that that was the primary language at her school. When Pocahontas got to her new school, she was greeted by the principal, Mrs. O. Mrs. O was super friendly, and that helped Pocahontas ease her nerves, so she invited her into her office for a little chat before she went and introduced her to her new class. Once they were in her office, Mrs. O just took the time to explain to Pocahontas, as simply as she could, that they would do everything they could to help her learn some English skills and that she would succeed in the classroom. She was super excited to go introduce her to her new teacher, Mrs. D, and her fellow classmates. Once they got to the new classroom, Mrs. O pulled Mrs. D aside and let her know that their new student was here. Mrs. D quickly got the whole class's attention and told them that Mrs. O had some exciting news for them. Mrs. O said, "Hello, class. You have a new classmate today. Please welcome her. Her name is Pocahontas, and she just moved here from out of town. Please help her to get acquainted with the classroom and help her with any homework you can. Thanks so much." Pocahontas, would you like to tell us something about yourself? Pocahontas was nervous to say anything to herself, so she just whispered no to Mrs. O for now because English wasn't her first language, as she had said, and it was a scary thing. At the end of the first school day, Mrs. D walked Pocahontas out of the school. She asked her if there was possibly a time that her father could come in and they could meet about some things they could do to help Pocahontas with her English. She sent a note home with Pocahontas to her father in their native language as well as in English that explained that she just wanted to have a meeting to understand where Pocahontas' education success could come from. Once Pocahontas got home, she handed her dad the note, and he could not read the English one, but he could read the one in a native language. So he decided that yes, they would go into the school, and Pocahontas could translate for them here and there to figure out what they could do to improve her English skills. At the meeting, they just discussed, in as simple of English as they could, that they just wanted to help Pocahontas succeed. They ended up being able to find an interpreter that could come in and help Pocahontas translate her homework from English into her native language for when she didn't understand. Mrs. O and Mrs. D decided that this was the best thing they could do for now, and they also paired her up with another student that would help her learn some English skills. After some very hard work and lots of trials, Pocahontas finally learned the English that she needed to know for school. And by the end of the school year, she was so proud of everything she did that she even gave a speech in front of her whole class thanking Mrs. O and Mrs. D for helping her learn the English she needed to learn.